G'day YouTube, Max right here with a little bit of a Bitcoin update. So this important trend line coming through here has just been broken by Bitcoin. Now it's a little bit too early to celebrate. This candle hasn't even closed, but I wanted to give you the up to the minute information. This very last candle here with a red arrow pointing to it, we see we've broken through really strong up above that trend line. And to give you a little bit of historical perspective about what's happening here, we had this trend line traveling up in this way. We see we used it as resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. We broke through it with a big candle, and then we followed a trend line down here to meet the trend line again, bounced off it, and shot back up. Fizzled out a little bit, followed a trend line back here. I'll zoom in again here. Lower high, lower high, lower high. And then this candle suggests a higher high from the body of this candle. And so we start to see the beginning of the trend up as this symmetrical triangle kind of closed out. Now, when it happened here, we saw a big break up to the upside. And I suspect that is what's going to happen again. Again, we need to wait for confirmation. This candle hasn't even closed, but you can see here it takes a few candles above it before we really see, okay, this is a clear sign we are breaking out of this downtrend. I really want to see a high, the high be a little bit clearer than this previous high over here and really break up higher. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I suggest you guys keep an eye on when you're watching this Bitcoin chart. And what was the reason for it? Well, there's a little bit of news today in Square, a monster company, Square. They announced this morning that they have purchased 4,700 Bitcoins at an aggregate purchase price of $50 million, which represents just 1% of Square's total assets. So, you know, I advise this to everybody. I know I do it when I'm in the Bitcoin. I tell everybody, just start with small amounts and then you just start accumulating and accumulating. But your first purchase, there's a lot of things to understand, private keys and how to manage that. And what if the person who has the private keys gets hit by a bus? How are these coins going to be properly protected in the case of all the different scenarios? And so is this the beginnings of Square getting into it with a lot more than just 1%? And this is on the heels from not too long ago now, $425 million investment by MicroStrategy's CEO, Michael Saylor. So we're just starting to see now the beginnings of these bigger companies start to get in and say, maybe I want to hold a little bit of Bitcoin. And we've seen one, we've seen two, and of course we've seen more before that. But this has just started, nothing as big as Square. We haven't seen anything as big as Square before. And so this is starting to get a little bit of momentum, and everything I'm seeing in the charts is extremely bullish for Bitcoin. This doesn't change my macro opinion. I still think there's a big shutter to the system to come to us very soon. But within the spectrum of Bitcoin, just in the microcosm of just Bitcoin, everything about Bitcoin looks extremely good right now. We are where are we, 6 months past the halving. We're right at the time where I would expect us to gallop along to all-time highs. So really keep an eye out over the next. Let's go back to the chart. If we follow the pattern here of, we broke through this trend line down here at around about 9,000 and we galloped up to 12,000. If we did a similar thing here, break out above a list trend at 11,000, I wouldn't at all be surprised to get to about 15,000 or more, which would put us at a multi-year high. And from there, that is the last point of resistance before the all-time high of 20,000. Once we break through 20,000, Bitcoin will be in the news everywhere. The FOMO will be everywhere, and we will be in the beginnings of another 1 to 2 year epic bull market in Bitcoin, right on schedule, exactly as I predicted for 2021. So this is super exciting. Use caution, as I said. There's a big chance of a macro situation happening like March of this year, where everything got hit. Stocks, real estate, Bitcoin, gold, silver, everything gets hit. So be on the lookout, be wary, tread cautiously because of that fact. But in the world of Bitcoin, Everything is looking absolutely amazing and exactly on path. We've had this nice little consolidation period for the last little bit. I was watching this triangle to see if we're going to break down or break up. It looks like we're breaking up. Wait for the confirmations over the next few days. And then I think it's time to get very excited about Bitcoin for the next few weeks in the same way that this period right here was super exciting for Bitcoin. Let's just take a quick measure here. Let's just say we'll wait a few days for confirmation, wait from here to here, and we're talking about 30% rise in the price of Bitcoin. So super exciting news, guys. Pay attention to it, and I will see you guys very soon.